Hi guys, this is Nick from ForexForNoobs.com with the daily analysis. Today is Thursday, the 16th of November 2017, and the time is 10:11 here in the UK. You're looking at a Euro AUD, well, now it's a daily chart. Just a quick announcement before we get started. I'm going to probably, most likely, I've said this to you guys in the room before, but I'm saying this more for people who aren't Forex Mastermind members and who are watching on YouTube. I'm probably going to finish trading for this year on the 30th of November. I've had a really good trading year, and I want to give myself a kind of extended Christmas holiday, so I'm going to take all of December and the first 2 weeks of January off. So please don't expect too much analysis, or any analysis, in fact, in December. I'm going to be not doing any analysis videos in December. There is, of course, going to still be some analysis for Forex Mastermind members only, and there's going to be a few exclusive webinars for Forex Mastermind members. So you guys who are in the chat room right now, and all Forex Mastermind members, you guys will obviously still be hearing from me. We talked about it yesterday, I believe, and I sent an email out to you guys with the webinars on the 4th, 11th, and 18th. We're going to be doing some advanced webinars on those days, so not just analysis. So be ready for those in December. There's no time set yet, but I'll send you guys the time shortly. So yeah, for anyone who likes the YouTube videos, December, I'm taking it all off, so don't expect too much from me on YouTube. Yeah, so that's the only thing I think I wanted to talk about. So let's jump into the analysis. In today's analysis, we're going to be looking for reversal and continuation setups. We're also going to be looking at the setups from yesterday, how they're doing, and all that cool stuff. Now, there's a few questions that I was asked before I started recording, so I'm going to go back and answer those. All right. Start with USDCHF real quick, because that one's a bit easier. What is your target on USDCHF? Target on USDCHF is up here at the 9970. And Ash asked, what time frame did I enter USDCHF? I was really just jumping around between all the time frames. I decided to enter on the 8 hour mostly, but to be honest, I was looking at the 4 hour, 6 hour, 8 hour. I was looking at all of them. I was hoping for a better entry, but I just didn't really manage to get that better entry. But my entry is actually a tad lower than this. This is when I placed this up on my chart. Price hadn't retraced yet, so my entry was in fact closer to down here. So I'm going to update this to my actual numbers. Yeah, that's better. So this is what I'm looking at on USDCHF, roughly. These aren't my exact numbers, but it's very, very close to this. Because I managed to get in on like a bit of a pullback, just a tiny bit of a pullback, nothing fancy. The trade was entered mostly based on this candle here. So this was kind of the indecision candle, and actually, sorry, we're on the wrong time frame. It was entered based on this candle here. So this was acting as the indecision candle. Now, I know this isn't a classic indecision candle, but when I say it was acting as the indecision candle, it's because the indecision candle is what we use to gauge our entry and our stop loss. So when I say acting as the indecision candle, that's what I mean. But this isn't really an indecision candle. But it was quite clear what was happening here. And I know some of you are going to say, hey Nick, that doesn't look like a classic reversal setup that you trade. But, and I know it doesn't, it completely doesn't. But this leads nicely into something else I was going to announce to Forex Mastermind members. the next major update to the price action course, which is obviously free for all you guys. This is going to get confusing. Free for Forex Mastermind members because it's an update. So the next major update, we're going to be looking at trading reversal setups that don't fit that classic reversal setup template of indecision on support. Because when you look at this as a trader or as a price action trader, you understand what's happening here. This makes sense. You understand that there's a reversal occurring here because buyers have taken control of price and they've started pushing up. Just because none of your time frames are showing you that perfect little indecision candle, it doesn't mean that there's not a reversal occurring there. People get too stuck on the idea of what an indecision candle actually means, or what a reversal candle, what a doji, all that kind of stuff. People are like, oh, if it doesn't look like a doji, it's not a reversal. But that's not how it works, because change just a few parameters and you could get a nice little doji forming on top of this support area. So let's say these charts closed a few hours earlier. So instead of this 8-hour candle closing at 6 a.m., let's say it closed at, let's say a few hours later, let's say it closed at 8 a.m. That's going to change the entire shape of this candle. And this candle would end up looking like a doji or an indecision candle or a spinning top, whatever all those names are for the candles. I don't really use those names. This might be a bit of a hard concept to understand if you're not familiar with how candles work and how charts work. But just because you're not seeing indecision here, it doesn't mean it's not there. You need to read beyond the shape of the candle. Looking at just shapes of candles it really is just the wrong way to look at things. So this reversal setup, it was a reversal setup, and it was pretty much one of our classic reversal setups. It's just we couldn't see the indecision candle. I call this hidden price action because it's hidden because of the data that we're getting from indecision from the chart. It's hidden price action. It's going to be the next major update to the course, which should be coming by the end of the year or early next year. So this trade was entered based on that. It's going quite well right now. Any questions? Yeah, as you're pointing out, Ash, in this case, it's definitely quite obvious on lower time frames. When you drop down to the 4-hour, for example, you see some solid indecision there, although it's a bit low on the support area. I'm sure if we drop to like a 3-hour time frame, indecision, just because it doesn't look like indecision on a higher time frame, it doesn't mean that there's not indecision there. It just means the candle's closed at that moment where it doesn't look like there's a reversal, but the reversal is still there. So yeah, my target is around about the 0.9954. Sorry, I didn't really replace this after I entered the trade, because usually I place this before I enter the trade, this little tool here, and then I adjust it when I've got my actual proper trade numbers, but I didn't really adjust this, so I'm not sure exactly where it was, but my target's roughly around the 0.9950, somewhere in that range, 9955. The reason I have my target there is, and this is just my first target, guys, it's not my full target, is that we can see through here, when it tried to move down, it stalled several times. So I'm anticipating that it's probably going to stall a little bit. And because we're nearing Friday, I'm pretty sure I'm going to take some of my position out if it reaches there. Maybe all of it, but to be honest, this is a really solid setup. Because it's in line with a pretty strong trend so far. It's not counter trend, so ideally I'd want to leave this open until it reaches up here to the next resistance area, but I'm probably going to close part of this position out. around the 9955, something like that. Okay, Euro AUD. Euro AUD was the other trade I entered, the one I shared with you guys yesterday. This one was entered, you can see here, based on the 6 hour, and it's a very similar concept, hidden price action. But I based it mostly on this kind of 6 hour candle, but also I was switching time frames. I want to kind of start to move away from the concept of basing it on a specific time frame. And instead we're basing it on price stalling at an area, if that makes sense. It'll make more sense as the videos come out, guys. It's hard to explain it just off the cuff, I think is the expression. Do I think it's risky to counter such a strong trend? Yes, most definitely. But there is some very good reasoning for me entering short on Euro AUD. And that's because Euro USD was supporting me. If you want to, well, if you look here, on Euro USD started turning around really quickly. It turned around from this resistance area very quickly, way too fast for me to catch this trade. Turned around and it pushed all the way back down to here. Now I entered the Euro AUD trade, I think it was around, it was here, so around 7:30 p.m. At that point, Euro USD had already dropped a significant way from its resistance area. So I was looking at the euro thinking, we're seeing some pretty reasonable, we're seeing some pretty decent euro weakness at the moment. So yeah, that's why I entered. So it is risky, obviously, to counter such a big trend, but because I was seeing euro weakness on Euro USD, I thought, you know, why not? Makes sense. Does that answer your question, Ash? So Euro AUD is not really going too well right now. This one, I don't know. It is counter to the trend, that's the thing. So I have a very conservative target on this one, but the most recent candle is showing a higher low. So this one's showing an equal low pretty much. So yeah, I'm not as confident about Euro AUD as I am about USDCHF. But Euro AUD is pretty near to the target, so let's see how it plays out. Euro New Zealand, this one didn't trigger. My entry was down here, and it just never triggered. It came very close, but it didn't trigger. And now it's just kind of like stalling up here still. So there is still potential for a short trade here. We just got to see if it continues to stall. We've got to see how this daily candle plays out. We got a perfect little daily candle yesterday. So this candle may very well push down today. Just because it's up right now, it doesn't mean that it's gonna continue to push up. So I am definitely going to be keeping a close eye on Euro New Zealand, and I'm still looking to enter this as a short trade potentially. I just got to see what this current daily candle does. So if this daily candle spins around and breaks this low, I might very well enter short on Euro New Zealand. So yeah, there we go. There's still a valid setup on Euro New Zealand. Euro USD, I did not enter Euro USD. It just spun around way too quick. I know a few of you did enter Euro USD. I got a few emails about it. So to those of you who did, it seems like it's the best trade from yesterday. I didn't enter the best one, funnily enough. But it was on a very low time frame. It was on the 4 hour. It just spun around too quick. I was kind of surprised when I got back to it. So, did anyone enter this one? Or should we just skip to the next? You entered, Ash? Are you at target? Ah, did not enter, so you were saying skip to the next. Where is everyone else? Only Ash is typing. Euro GBP. Is anyone short on Euro GBP? I skipped this one, but I'm somewhat regretting my decision to skip it. I skipped it because, I was already in 2 trades, and also it's just so messy to the left here. Like we could see this bounce here and that bounce there, and price kind of stalling through here and on its way up. Bit late now to enter, so I'm regretting it. I'm thinking I probably should have entered, but the indecision candle was just too big, which made my stop loss just too big, and the risk reward ratio just got worse and worse. Yeah. So it looks like no one entered this one, so that's cool. We can skip to the next one. All right, guys, USDJPY. We talked about a potential USDJPY long yesterday. I didn't enter this either. It just didn't really look good. It's just so messy to the left, and I'm just not a big fan of USDJPY in general. It's definitely not one of my favorite pairs. I've never liked USDJPY. So, yeah, didn't really do anything with that. And there's nothing happening there right now. New Zealand JPY, we're looking for a potential stall here, or maybe it was potential long, but obviously that hasn't done anything. Didn't even turn around, so nothing going on there. All right, so let's get into some pairs that weren't from yesterday. AUD/USD, what's going on in AUD/USD? Nothing much. AUD/JPY, all right, this is spinning around. Anyone long on AUD/JPY? Julian, why not? I just never liked it. It used to move very, very slow back in the day. So back 2006, I think. I'm so bad with remembering the years. So back in 2006, USD/JPY used to move very slow. Like it would take days and days and days to hit your targets. I've just never liked the pair. These days, it still moves slow compared to other pairs, but it's started moving faster again. But it's just a messy pair. I just don't like it. I honestly can't give you a very precise reason, but I just never felt comfortable when I was in a USD/JPY trade, so I tried to avoid it. I still take the trades every now and then, but generally I try to avoid it. AUD/JPY, you're long, Ash? Yeah, okay. It's counter trend, so I take it you have a tight target, right? All right, my only concern with this one is this area I have here. I had it down there, but it could also be up here. Basically, what I'm saying is this entire area is pretty messy, and it could be considered. You could consider all of this support resistance. So this is still in an area in which it could stall and turn around. So my concern would be that this is going to act as a continuation, a short continuation. Just because as it gets higher up into this potential resistance area, it's going to stall out. Obviously that's not necessarily going to happen. It's just a concern that I would have with this setup. So do monitor it closely, see how it plays out. But I don't see anything wrong with this setup. It's decent. AUD New Zealand, nothing much going on there, guys. CAD JPY. Yeah, nothing much there. GBPAUD. All right, we have a potential GBPAUD setup, guys. Obviously, oh, actually on the 12-hour, it looks pretty solid. GBPAUD is trending up. This would be a counter trend reversal if we were to take it. Doesn't look like the best setup. It's pretty messy to the left, but it also doesn't look like a horrible setup. So I'd say just like an average kind of reversal setup. Maybe the 12-hour, maybe even a lower time frame. It's hard to predict the time frame I'm going to take the trade on, if it even turns into a trade. But you know, this early in the process of spotting a trade, it's hard to say which time frame it's going to end up on ultimately. It has a decent risk to reward ratio, I guess. It's not great. Let's keep a close eye on this one, guys. It might end up giving us a nice little reversal. I want to see what happens to this current 12-hour candle. Also interested on the daily. I want to see how this daily candle closes. If it doesn't push down within the next 12 hours. 8-hour candle also looks good. So I'm gonna look at it on all the time frames, and we can discuss it further on the forum. GBPAUD looks solid, guys. GBPJPY. Yeah, it's in between support resistance, so we can't really do much, and it's ranging so tightly the last few days. GBPUSD is in between support resistance, so no real setups there. New Zealand USD is falling back into this support area after an attempt at pushing away. There's not much opportunity there that I would trade anyway. USD CAD, yeah, nothing really going on there, guys. And EURAUD. Continuation possibly, but it's a bit late to enter. If you wanted to, you would have had to enter quite some time ago. Yeah, gold is ranging quite tightly, and so is silver. So yeah, there's not really much going on there, but it's not really a bad day today. The setup we were looking at yesterday, Euro New Zealand, still looks like it could potentially turn into a short. But obviously right now, this bullish candle is suggesting that buyers are in control. But you need to consider that they haven't been able to break the previous high. They've attempted, but they haven't. So this previous high is still holding. And it also coincides with these highs here. So this high is holding. If this high continues to hold and this turns around, you know, it could give us a nice potential short trade. I'm not going to hold my breath with this one. It's unlikely. Well, I shouldn't say unlikely, but it's just not the very best of setups, I guess we'd say, because buyers are showing that they're quite strong right now. So bulls are showing they're quite strong. It looks like they want to push up, but within the next 12 hours, it could totally turn it around. So let's keep a close eye on this for a potential short with a reasonably tight target. GBPAUD, let's watch this one on the 12-hour. Even on the 8-hour looks decent. On the daily, maybe this won't trigger until tomorrow. Who knows? It's definitely worth watching. It's stalling up here at this resistance area. Both of these are counter trends, so do remember that you should have decent targets, tight targets. Yeah, I guess that wraps it up for the analysis, guys. Any questions? Thanks for watching the analysis. I hope it was useful. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button below. Also, for instant notifications when I post analysis or other cool videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button below.